Hello, everyone. Well, it's been a while since I last spoke with you, and in that time, just today, or at least just within the past 24 hours, Iran has struck. They boarded a couple of cargo ships, and they were masked men, and then Iran, I should say, Iran broadcast the invasion of the ships by the Iranian troops in masks on their national TV. They broadcast the boarding of these cargo ships on their national TV, and they were bragging about it on their national TV. And they showed these men. They were Iranian troops wearing ski masks. So they had a hole for a mouth and eyes. And they looked really scary, and they were boarding these ships. They boarded the ships and took them over at gunpoint. And they've been bragging about this ever since now. And they said it's because of the naval blockade of their ports by the U.S. That because the U.S. is blocking their ports with a naval blockade, that they took these two cargo ships hostage. And the worst part about it is that Trump heard about this. He heard about these ships being boarded, but he decided not to do anything about it because they weren't American ships. They weren't American ships, and they weren't Israeli ships, so they did nothing about it. Like, we have no allies around the world that are worth defending or worth working for their freedoms. It was Trump's fault that this happened in the first place. He goaded Iran. And he made threats against them, and now they're retaliating, and now Trump won't do anything about it. That's pretty bad. I would say. Here's what he said. He called the Iranian regime crazy bastards. That was his first thing that he said about them, was that they were crazy bastards. I told them to give in right now, or he would take action against them. Then he said that he was going to end their whole civilization. He was going to end their civilization, and it will be wiped off the face of the earth, probably never to return again, but that they deserved it. And then after that, he had on Easter Sunday, he had a expletive laced tirade, and then he said something like Allahu Akbar, praise be to Allah. He said praise be to Allah, and then and that was on Easter Sunday. The Pope really doesn't need to criticize him because he's doing a good job all by himself. He's his own worst critic, right? Trump's his own worst critic, because he has to be his own worst critic, because he's made a fool of himself in front of the whole world, saying he was going to end a whole civilization. And then did he do it? Did he follow through? No, he was lying once again. Lying to himself, lying to the world, lying to his supporters, and even lying to his detractors, saying he was going to do this, he was going to have a civilization-ending event. And then the Pakistani leader stepped in and said, well, Pakistan, I'm going to help you to negotiate a truce with the Iranians. And Trump immediately agreed to it and said that he respected the Pakistani leader, and he was a great man, and he was going to go ahead and negotiate a truce through the Pakistani leader. And the Pakistani leader arranged peace talks, and J.D. Vance went twice to negotiate the peace talks. And unfortunately, Iran took this action against these ships. against these cargo ships with their navy. So they took action against these ships with their navy, and so much for J.D. Vance being the peacemaker, right? How can you get away with saying that you're going to do a civilization ending event against a country and not turn against you every single member of that country? How? How do you do that? There's no way that you can make peace after saying something like that. You know, my big message to Trump is words have meaning. Words mean things. And words can hurt. And you have to be careful what you say to people and what you say about people. You've got to be really careful because words can hurt. And words have meaning. Words mean things. When you lie, it's the murder of the English language. And then of course, he lies and lies and lies some more, but he's really lying most to his supporters and to himself because he doesn't follow through. He has no consistency. He doesn't follow through on his threats. They're just empty, idle threats that he makes against whoever he pleases. It's really sad, actually. So what do we do about this? Well, thinking what we can do is the only thing we can do is hold more protests, I suppose. Another No King's Day is probably right around the corner because of Trump is pushing it to the outer limits. Wherever he can push, he pushes. He likes to push a button over and over and over and over to see what will happen and what it'll do and what he can get away with and what he can't get away with. And he's doing all of this to distract people from the Epstein files. If it weren't for the Epstein files, this would have never happened. Because he wants people to be distracted. And you know who he distracts the best? David Muir. You know David Muir, he's on ABC News. And he does the National Evening News. I would like to rename David Muir. I'm going to name him Obadiah because he obeys everything that Trump tells him to do. Trump gives him the order, Trump tells him what to do, and Obadiah, David Muir, obeys him. He obeys him without questioning, without asking first or questioning whether he should do it. He just obeys Trump. So if Trump tells him, okay, yeah, I don't want to hear about the Epstein files, he doesn't broadcast anything about the Epstein files. If Trump wants him to give him press for starting a war in Iran, David Muir gives him press for starting a war in Iran. Whatever Trump wants most, whatever he desires most. And I don't have to tell you this, but ABC News belongs to Disney, whatever that means. Just something to think about, something to chew on, wondering what Disney has to do with it. And what about these plane crashes? Oh my gosh, so many things are going wrong with planes, and it's all at once. It's all at once. Before, there was nothing wrong with the planes, and then after the start of the new year, everything goes wrong with the planes. And I think the elites are involved, but I don't have proof. I can't prove it, but I very strongly suspect it's the elites because it's such a wide net has been cast around the airplanes and airports of America. I wonder who could be sabotaging these airplanes and how. It's important to know why. It's important to know how. Each of those is equally important. And we need to identify the culprit before it's too late, before more people lose their lives, and before people are spooked out of going to airports permanently. So, Trump has to learn to control his mouth. He has to use his mouth in a progressive manner instead of distracting people away from the Epstein files with his war in Iran and distracting people from what's important, our civilization. Just imagine if he had said that about America. He was supposed just listen to these words and then think he's saying it to America. I'm about to end your civilization. A whole civilization will end. Probably forever, but you deserved it. Well, I mean, if you said that about America, you would be outraged, right? Well, how do you think the Iranians feel right now? Even, especially the people that were protesting against the central government in Iran. They must be hating America now more than ever. If they, and I don't understand why Trump has been doing this. Probably to distract people. To distract people from the Epstein files, because people want to know about the Epstein files and they don't want to be distracted from the Epstein files. So that's it. Trump, Epstein files, and Iran. I sure hope that the people that Trump has lied to the most are his followers. That's who he's lied to. He lied saying he was going to take action against Iran. Had lied saying he was going to do a civilization-ending event. Then he didn't. But some people are happy about that. They're happy that he didn't end Iranian civilization. But what about the lying? The lying and the cussed things he said. Cussed things that he said about Iran. It's just too much. So, leave you with this. Protest. If you don't like the way this war is going, if you don't like the high price of gasoline, if you don't like the Epstein files, protest. Protest. And I'll see you next time.